New mic. Who's this? What is up, Fin fans? Yes. New microphone. Upgraded. Got the Shure SM7B. This man jam is a beaut. I've been saving up to get it. I went from the Rode Procaster to this beautiful thing. You'll see this on professional podcasts and all that stuff. So I upgraded to this Mamma Jam. Hopefully it sounds fantastic. If it doesn't, I'm gonna cry. Yes, this is the Q&A video. I tend to do these, I think, once or twice, or maybe even sometimes 3 times a year. I pick certain points in the season to do it, just to see where you guys are coming from, interact with you guys, not only on the live stream. So we're going to be doing the Q&A video. I have, I think, almost 50 comments. I'll try to fit all 50 in. I'll try to answer as quick as I possibly can. But before we jump into that, I want to thank Ryan Holt for joining the Patreon. It means the world to me, and I want to thank all of you guys. We are a little over 24,300 subscribers, which means we are almost halfway to 25,000 subs. And I just want to thank you guys so very much. I know this is the dead time of the year, so, you know, the views are kind of down, and I'm pulling content out of my butt trying to entertain you guys. But to the Patreons, to the members, to even people who, you know, donate to the channel you guys do this without having to. You guys do this without, you know, you have no idea how much it helps to continue, how much it helps to put more stuff, more time, more effort into this. You don't have to. To the people who subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, which is very important. Hitting that thumbs up button, it has something to do with the algorithm. You guys have no idea how important you guys are to this channel. To all 24,300, and I think I'm at like 26, you guys are beyond important. And I want to thank you all. So this, you know, mid-season, I think I'm going to name it off-season Q&A or whatever, is kind of a thank you to you guys. I'm going to try to do a giveaway. I have a few things maybe I'm going to give away for the start of the season. But I just want to thank you guys, because you guys don't have to. The least you have to do is watch ads to help. And that's the least you have to do. And you guys go above and beyond that. So thank you very much. You don't have to do any of the things you guys do for me. All I ever ask is subscribe and hit that thumbs up button, and that helps with the world, and you guys go above and beyond. So I just want to thank you guys. Get real sappy in the beginning of the video. Thank Ryan Holt for joining the Patreon. Thank all of my Patreons, all of my members, all of you guys. Thank you so much. I wasted too much time. I have a lot of comments to get through. So let's jump into this and start with Lee Haynes, who says, what's the worst record you would say is acceptable this season? Well, we won 10-6 last year. We have an extra game on the schedule. 10-7. Kind of stayed where you're at. You lost an extra game, but you kind of stayed where you're at. That's the least acceptable. I will take another 10-win season, because that might get you in the playoffs. This one comes from Ken Vendelui. Apologize. I'm probably going to butcher some of your guys' names. And like, just a little update or a little insight. I jumped right into that first comment. I took these from Twitter and from here below. Well, not below, but in the community. So that's where I'm getting these from. He says, just a thought. It's common thinking that a second year of a player career takes a major jump. Chris and Brian draft Noah knowing that they might be looking for an X replacement this year. They draft Jalen and Hunter knowing they might need replacements for Agba, Gesicki, and Devontae. What is the best time to find the replacements? The year before, not the year before, not the year of replacing them. Always competition. That's what Brian Flores is always trying to reiterate and drive home. Always draft your competition. If you know, like, if your guy is on the rise, you just, especially wide receiver, you want more than one just good wide receiver, because then they're just going to get doubled and then you're screwed. So you always want good wide receivers. You always want good pass rushers. Who else did he say? Gesicki. See, those are singular guys. Even quarterbacks are kind of singular guys. Left tackles, you only get real one of them. Always bring in competition. If you can get a top-notch guy and you still have a guy who's pretty good, like say we still had Laramie Tunsil, right? But he was kind of slouching a little bit, right? His progression was going down a little bit, and we could get Penei Sewell. You still draft Penei Sewell. Kick him to right tackle, or all of a sudden you got that competition. So for me, it's always. This one comes from Barry, and again, this is from YouTube. He says, what's your favorite moment of the 2020 season? Favorite moment of the 2020 season was the Cardinals game. Missing that field goal short was my favorite moment of the 2020 season. The Cardinals game in a whole, because of how well the offense was playing, how they were just consistently moving down the field, consistently scoring. The defense with that, strip sack in the beginning of the game to get us the touchdown, and Sanders doing his thing, and then the short field goal. I think that would be my favorite game/moment. Sammy asks me, expecting a bigger year from Noah and Brandon Jones this year, who will make the most improvement from year 1 to year 2? I'm expecting a bigger year from Noah. I'm wanting a bigger year from Noah. You were the 30th overall pick. Kind of need to do that. Brandon Jones, 3rd round pick. It's not as important, especially with Javon Holland being brought in. Safety is, Noah needs to have a bigger jump from year 1 to year 2. Dakota, with drafting Waddle and signing Fuller and Long, is Parker odd man out? With drafting Waddle and signing Fuller and Long, well, Long is going to be an inline tight end, so I don't know if Long's really going to have a impact on Devontae Parker. Yeah, I said Devontae Parker was an odd man out before we went to the draft. Yeah, he needs to stay healthy. If Fuller plays a full year, stays healthy, same thing with Waddle, Parker's going to be the odd man out there, especially with his contract. I don't think his contract's fully guaranteed really anymore. The Monkey Man 23, who will be the surprise cut of the Dolphins this year? I'm going to make a video on this during training camp. But the surprise cut, to me personally, none of it will be a surprise. I don't think they'll cut Xavier Howard. I don't think they'll cut Mike Gesicki. I don't think they'll cut Emmanuel Ogbah. I don't think they'll cut Devontae Parker. So those are kind of answering those kind of questions with, can't believe they cut him. So to me, it's not really a surprise, but to maybe other people, Durham Smythe, he might get cut. Let me think of some other veterans that you're like, wow, really? Coleman might not make the team. Jesse Davis. Now, I think he'll make the team, but that could be a surprise there. DJ Fluker, these are vets that could potentially be the odd man out if the people in front of them play better. But to me, I don't think really any cut right now would be a surprise. 64 Chameleon? Again, I'm going to butcher people's names. The second preseason game will be probably the dress rehearsal. How much action will the starters get in the first and third? I don't think the starters, knowing Brian Flores, the starters will probably get a series in the third game, being that you only have 3 preseason games versus the 4 of the usual. First, you'll probably get maybe a quarter. Second, you're going to probably get 2.5 quarters, almost 3 quarters, and then the third, you might get a series just to keep you fresh. Because you guys, I don't know if you guys know this, there's about 2 or 3 weeks before the start of the season. Normally you get that 4th preseason game. The 4th is gone, so you get a big chunk before the start of the preseason. So you might get more of the series in that 3rd preseason game. Good question on that one. This one comes from Venus. Venus is also one of my Patreons and in the Discord. He says, do you plan on doing fantasy football this year? If so, how many leagues would you be involved in, and how could we join? Good question, Venus. Yes, I do plan on doing a fantasy football league. I think I'm going to do one for the YouTubers and one for the Patreons. But I haven't decided how I'm going to do it, and if I'm just going to make it just one big one for both, I don't know yet. I'm trying to keep it competitive because, again, if there's no money or no prize involved, people tend to just stop playing after a while. This one comes from Alex. What player from back in the day would you add to this team and why? Enjoy your day, Doug. Well, Alex, I hope you enjoy your day. Obviously Dan Marino, but everyone's going to say Dan Marino, so I'm not going to pick a quarterback. Richmond Webb. No, because the obvious answers are Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas, Patrick Surtain. Those are the obvious answers. You want the Hall of Famers in there, even though Zach Thomas, Patrick Surtain aren't Hall of Famers yet. But Richmond Webb, that man did so much at left tackle. That Richmond Webb, offensive line is kind of solidified. You throw Richmond Webb on that left side. Big John Stud 007 says, if you could have picked an offensive coordinator, who would you have chosen? I would have chosen Steve Sarkisian and brought him in before he got the Texas job. Who would you have chosen? I say this because I think I would have fixed all of the issues with our offense issues from the beginning, playbook and everything else. He's choosing him, if you guys don't know, because that was Tua's offensive coordinator. He was rumored, there was that connection because of Tua. To me, it was, and you guys know this from my, stuff in the offseason, was Ken Dorsey, the quarterback's coach of Buffalo. And a lot of people said, well, he has no offensive coordinator experience. Why would you want to bring him in? Because I saw what he did with Josh Allen. Josh Allen's rookie year was bad. Was worse than Tua's. And that's not even me being a biased Dolphin fan. It was worse than Tua's. And look at them now. Is it because they added Stephon Diggs? Is it because they made the offense or whatever more pretty? Whatever it is. I liked what he did. Now, you could say that was Dable. I think it was a combination. So that's my pick. But Steve Sarkisian isn't a bad pick either. This one comes from JP, and it's from Twitter. And he says, what do we know about our new punter? He never talks about, but we all know that the field position game plays a big part with a great defense. He ain't wrong. You're down, you're up by 2, right? There's about a minute and a half left on the clock. Your punter pins that ball within the 5. That is a huge, huge advantage for the defense. So you'd be surprised, especially, if you're only kicking field goals, but you keep pinning the offense within the 5 and they have a long field to go and then they have to punt it back to you from their own 15. Huge advantage. I heard nothing about him. I know he was injured last year. I honestly don't know why we signed him. Why didn't we just keep the punter we had in Hawk? But that's all I got for you. I'm sorry. You know what? For you, JP, I'm going to do more research and I'll talk about it in the next video. This one comes from the Dart. I'm not going to say AOT fan 5421. This is from Twitter. These are going to be a bunch from Twitter. Will Tua win us any Super Bowls? I think he'll win 2. Also, he will be the MVP once. I have no idea. I knew I was going to get a few Tua questions. Will he win us a Super Bowl? I hope so. I pray to God. I was hoping Tannehill was going to win us a few Super Bowls. He's gotten close. He's won the Titans a few playoff games. I don't know yet. I will answer all of the questions about Tua this offseason. When I see him have a full year with the full offseason, I will know the type of player he is now. To go off of what he did last year, you could take bits and pieces of the good and the bad, but it isn't a full sandwich, I guess you could say. I want that full sandwich because I'm very hungry right now. I just put the baby to sleep. I barely ate today. This one comes from David, and he says, with having 2 offensive coordinators, do we have one in the booth and one with boots on the ground? Do you see us improving with free agents / draft, or the Dolphins regress and be very offensive? I do think you'll see one in the top, one in the bottom, and they might alternate depending on the game plan. You might be facing a defense that is going to be predicating on a lot of run heavy. Then you're going to have, I think Studsville was the running backs coach and Gotzi up top. And then you might see one that's got a really good run defense and they might flip. That is the perks, I guess you could say, of having 2 offensive coordinators. And then do you see us improving with free agent draft or the Dolphins regress? If Brian Flores is still our head coach, I think they'll still stay with the status quo on what they are doing. This one comes from Russell Grace from Twitter, and he says, there's more than 53 players I really like currently on the roster, so there's going to be some cuts that will crush me. Who do you think might not make the final roster that will really disappoint you? That's a very good question. I kind of, touched upon it with another comment, but you'll see this. Once cuts start happening, you'll see, some good players get released. One that would crush me, Probably like if Christian Wilkins somehow didn't make the team. I have high hopes for him to really have a big step this year. Other than that, there's none that really will crush me. Again, you have to go into the mentality of, team before player. This one comes from Robbie, and he says, what wide receivers will be on the roster week 1? I'm going to do videos where I predict the final roster, but as of right now, I think it's going to be Parker, Williams, Albert Wilson, Waddle, Lynn Bowden, and Robert Foster. Those who I think are going to be the top. Jakeem Grant might be a kick returner, and that's it. I don't know. This one comes from Mac, and this is the first one I got that's not Dolphin related. What's your thoughts? What's your views on global warming? Warming or warning? I'm assuming you meant warming. It's, to me, someone with a minor in biology and a science-based background, it's not necessarily global warming. It's just climate change, and it is a thing that is happening. I'm not going to go too into detail with that because I might piss off some people who don't believe in it. Hey, you don't believe in it, you don't believe in it. But it was 100 and something degrees in Washington, the state. This one comes from Charlie, and he says, so I was trying to do some research. Did X get thrown at more, thus more interceptions because of Jones? Couldn't find thrown at stats anywhere. P.S. Greetings from Long Beach Island, South Jersey. Well, another Jersey guy. And Charlie, yes, he got thrown at more. He got thrown at, I think, about 20 passes more, but only gave up about 15 yards more. So again, yes, Noah, having Byron Jones on the other side forced passes towards Xavier Howard. And a lot of people like to say, well, without Byron Jones, X wouldn't have had 10 interceptions. Well, we'll never know, but I will say in 2018, he had 7 interceptions with no other corner. That was as good as Byron on the other side. So you can't really say that. And this one comes from Hassam. If you don't know about him, he's part of Finn's Maniacs. Go check him out. He does some fantastic work over there. He asks me, again, another non-Dolphin related question. If you had 2 options to put on your pizza, peanut butter or jelly, which would you choose and why? Disgusting. Why would you ask me this question? I absolutely love peanut butter. I try peanut butter on there, but neither. It's disgusting. Jelly might be good. That sweet and sour combo. I don't know. Both. How about that? Make a peanut butter and jelly pizza. That's disgusting. But thank you for the comment and go check out Finn's Maniacs. This one comes from Nick, and these are from Twitter. He says, do you think Miami needs to get a veteran O-lineman like Schwartz or DeCastro over a running back like Sony Michel? They have veterans on there. They have DJ Fluker. They have Jesse Davis. DeCastro, I heard the reason he got released from the Steelers is because he's set to retire. So I think they're good with the vets that they have on the team. And technically, Skura is a vet too. So I think they're good. This one comes from Drew. What's your favorite snack? I have many, hence me gaining the weight. I like to blame it on the fact I had a baby, but I like snacks. I love me some cashews. No product placement unless, Planters wants to sponsor. I love cashews. If you haven't had these yet, before I said I love peanut butter. I'm not a big chocolate fan. These. It's just all peanut butter. Absolutely love these. I'm a big snack guy. Chips, popcorn, pretzels. You wonder why I gained so much weight if you go back and watch my original videos. So it comes from Big Dog. If you had to go to a slumber party, which jammies you wearing? Fins or Mets? If you don't know, I'm a big Mets fan. You know what I do? I get the jammies that have, the pants and the top. I'm wearing a Dolphins top jammies. I'm wearing a Mets bottom jammies. I went around that question. This one comes from Dr. Alex Hernandez. Doctor, I wonder what you're a doctor in. Which is more preferable to you? Dolphins go to the AFC Championship game, but Tua looks like a complete bust, or Tua looking elite all season, but we missed the playoffs even with a winning record? The second one. Because then the biggest problem on a team is already answered with Tua looking elite. Now we can address the situation on why we missed the team. Was it running game? Was it offensive line? But once you have that answer at the quarterback, everything else will fall into line. So I'm going with the second one. Because if you look at the Ravens, they went to the Super Bowl, won it with Trent Dilfer, and then didn't go for a while because they never really could address the quarterback situation. This one comes from Craig, and he says, "Hi, Doug. Hello from the UK, non-football related, but your Lego helmet on your back shelf." You can kind of say it right there. "How on earth did you manage to build that? I've tried for 5 times now. Keeps falling apart after the face mask stage. How long did it take you to do it? I'm one frustrated Fins fan." That thing, and also the stadium, is the same Foco. The Legos are microscopic. Hurts your fingers. That face mask, if you fart near it, it'll fall apart. On the move, that kind of fell apart, but I kind of fixed it. It's hard. It took me, Craig, days to put together. Versus I have a Lego Batmobile up here. Maybe one day I'll show you guys. That took me less time because it was actually Legos. This one comes from Chauncey Roberts. He says, "Sup, Doug? One of the main reasons I didn't like the Changeli hire was because I felt like it was going to be for 1 year. Now here we are with our third offense system since Flores became the head coach. Do you have any concerns with our co-offensive coordinators?" Yeah. I have concerns with a bunch of things with this team, and maybe I'll do a video on that, on my biggest concerns going into the 2021 season. I'll write it down on the dry erase board. Yeah, because I don't know what they're doing. I don't know who's calling plays. I don't know this whole situation. So yeah, I do. Major concerns. So it comes from Smelly Walmart Hillbilly. What kind of name is that? What on earth could make the Dolphins think that having 2 OCs is a good idea? Why do they constantly make horrible decisions? It's been done before. There's been co-DCs, I think, with the Minnesota Vikings. There was co-DCs. It's been done before, and it's been done before successfully. I'd have to really do some research on that. It might work out. Again, you never know. I don't know. Now we're going back to YouTube, and this one comes from Ray Sosa, and he says, "What's the most unprecedented Dolphin? Who's the most unappreciated Dolphin in the last 20 years?" I'm not editing out that mess up, just so you guys can see how stupid I am. Jake Long, because it's the whole. We could have had Matt Ryan. People underestimate how good Jake Long was for us at left tackle. I'm going to say Jake Long. Zoom Life says, "Is this the year we see Preston Williams be the star we all thought he could be?" I hope so, because I answered a comment of the day, because if he's not, and if he doesn't stay healthy, he's probably going to be gone. This one comes from Justin Powers, related to Austin. Sorry, it was a bad joke. With Brian Flores going into his 3rd year as a head coach, what qualities has impressed you the most? And with that, what situations does he need to improve on? The thing that impresses me the most about Brian Flores is his quick adjustments and his understanding of, well, this isn't working anymore, or this guy's not working anymore. We need to move on. How quick he is at that. We had Adam Gase before him that was just so stubborn. No, it'll work, and and it never worked. Whereas Brian Flores is like, nah, this isn't working. We gotta hurry up and move it on. He's very good at making adjustments. And what he needs to improve on, I guess, quicker starts. Yeah, last season it was a lot of, we started slow, but then the second half we started scoring like crazy and coming back and winning. Quicker starts. That's a kind of a team thing, but that's what I need to see from him. So it comes from Clay, and he says, "Is there any more news about Melvin Ingram? Also, do you think Hollins will play more at the safety or in the slot?" I think Hollins is going to play more at the safety, but I do think he's going to be all over the place. And no new news on Melvin Ingram. I talked about it in last video when I answered a bunch of comments of the day. If he's going to get signed, it's going to happen during training camp. This one comes from Carl, and he says, "Doug, besides Dan Marino, who's your favorite player from the Dolphins?" Jason Taylor. I love Jason Taylor. I played that position, and I had his same body type, tall and long, and I never understood why he put me at defensive end, the coach, until I started playing at defensive end, and the offensive tackles had a hard time stopping me. This one comes from Marty. "Doug, do you think that the first 5 games are that hard to get a W, or is everyone overreacting like I think they are? Only game I see hard is the Buffalo game, but that is at home, so it kind of makes me feel better. I do think people are kind of overreacting to the first 5 games and saying how hard they are. We heard the same thing last year when everyone was looking at the first 5 games. The first 5 games with Seattle, with the 49ers. Oh, we're going to suck. We can't beat the 49ers, and we beat the crap out of them. I think the Dolphins can beat the Patriots. Home, I think they away, I do think they could beat the Patriots. Buffalo Bills game is going to be a hard one, but they almost won that last year with less talent on offense. Raiders game, we were to beat the Raiders. Colts game, I'm not worried about Carson Wentz. And you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. So if I'm looking at the first 5 games, the only games that really scare me are the Bills and the Bucs, because the Bucs defense is redunculous. This one comes from Estefan, and he says, who will be the breakout player that was not drafted in the top 2 rounds, excluding players that have already shown the potential a la AVG, including all 3 years under Flores? Don't be surprised if Myles Gaskin has a breakout year, or even Dokes. Don't be surprised if he has a breakout year. Even like Strobridge, all of these guys, they're set to, they've been doing really well. So I wouldn't be surprised if they all had those breakout years. This one comes from One Armed Bandit Riz, and he says, what do you think our offense will look like with our co-OCs? You guys are really worried about the co-OCs? I've answered a bunch of these questions. I don't know. I do think the offense is going to be really predicated to what Tua's strengths are, to see if Tua is the answer. I think this year is the biggest year again for him to prove it. If not, the Dolphins have 2 first-round picks in 2023 to answer that. But I do think it's going to be real important to see what we can get from Tua. This one comes from Anthony. He says, do you think the players returning from opt-out last season will have any regression if they're playing over longer periods during the season? I don't think so. I think if they came out of opt-outs and went right into the season, yes, I think it will take an impact on them. But the fact that they are going through the off-season program and gonna go through training camp, no, they're gonna be all right, and they're gonna go right back into the condition that they were before they did it. This one comes from Rue, and he says, what do you think our record will be, and do you think we'll make the playoffs? I predicted we'd win about 11 or 12 games. I could see us losing about 5, 6, 7 games. I could see it happening, but I do see us winning about 10 to 12 games. And I do think we'll make the playoffs. I think it was an anomaly that 10-win team didn't make the playoffs last year, and I think we will make it this year. I think because of the COVID and because of the impacts of not having the offseason, some teams got in because played an easier schedule. And that could have that been Dolphins? Sure, why not? But that was the last question. I went through as many as I could, as quickly as I could. I'm trying not to make this video too long for you guys, but thank you so much for all of the comments. Like I said, guys, I have a lot planned, so be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. It does help the channel out tremendously. Don't know if I'm gonna be able to live stream the first preseason game, but that's like another month away. So I'll talk more about that when that time comes, but I don't know. It's my father's birthday, so I don't know if I'll be able to live stream that. But like usual, guys, I got to shout out my 3 main people, and that is Backroom Collections, who have some fantastic artwork. Their website is linked in the description. Go grab yourself some. Use the promo code DDW. You get yourself 10% off on some great artwork. It doesn't have to be football. It could be baseball, basketball, whatever you want. Go over there. Check them out. Patch Vibes. I got to put the Dolphin patch on here, but go check them out. 20% off. They have patches, stickers, T-shirts, mugs, all those good things. Use the promo code DDW. You get yourself that 20% off. And finally, Miami Sports Music. Fantastic website, YouTube channel, ton of collaborations going on there. Me, TD, K Flexin, other podcasters, Solo D. Go over there, check it out. But other than that, guys, I will see you Sunday. Live streaming. I'm going to have Reason on. We're going to talk about something. It'll be fun. Well, other than that, guys, I'll see you Sunday. But like usual, stay classy and fins up.